I'm live, as are the live feeds. How are y'all doing? I've been waiting all afternoon watching these feeds to see if we were going to get it back before the show tonight. I thought, man, oh man, they're going to wait till Wednesday or something and just torture all of us. Well, that isn't the case. So welcome aboard to all of y'all. Before I forget about it, SKD143. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love the reality TV fans. I especially love Big Brother fans during this time of year. Oh, it's so exciting. We're going to be talking a lot of Big Brother tonight, right? If you got other questions, throw it in there. And I'm going to do my best, I promise, to keep up with the comments and questions. But I also know there's a lot of y'all out there. So if I miss it, throw it back in there, and I'll see if I can't catch it the second time. Bear with me, please. For those of you who are live, welcome aboard. For those of you who are watching on replay, welcome to y'all too. It's going to be a fun night. So let me throw in one more thing, and then we'll start talking comments and all that. If you haven't already done so, please consider going out to my YouTube channel, subscribing to the channel, turn on notifications. That way, the live shows on Monday nights, plus every morning's recaps, you'll get notifications whenever those come out. I try to do it early in the morning. Sometimes the house guests stay up a little too late, makes it tough, but if you turn on notifications, you'll know as soon as I drop the episode. All right, with that being said, I'm gonna see if I can go out here. Real quick shout out to everyone I see out here, and then we're gonna start with the questions. Ma is angry. Hey Ma, how's school going? Mike Johnson, Amanda Lowe, Brian Hostetler, Abby Loves 12, Mark Taylor, Captain Lee fan and Batman. I like Captain Lee as well. Carrie Lynn, Patty Bell, JD Glad, Jake the Horror Movie Geek, Carrie Lynn, James Corrales, Mike Johnson, Michelle Moore, Paula Scar, Finrick 1978, Tommy Flanagan, Enuiz 1919, Tina Warner. Oh, some of y'all out here. Let's see who else we've got here. Angie Hung. Hey, Angie, how are you? Andy W as well. And Mark Taylor, Just Micah, Vicky Stone. All right, a few more, and then we're going to. I love it out here. Charlie Cummings as well. Kim Sinclair, Wyatt Garrett, Stephen MC, the Angels Grandma. I like that login name. Ryan 51, Melissa Christopherson, Cindy Hire. Hey, Cindy. Jackie Hawkins, Ken T. Kayasek, Andy W. All right, we're going to shut down. Lucinda 5, Kayak, Nina C, Anna, Barbara Schultz. All right, guys. Here's what I like. I love seeing the names I see every single week, and I love seeing you new guys as well. For those of you who are new, there's not a lot of rules. I try to stay positive as best I can. Sometimes it's easier than other times, but try to stay positive. Tonight, we're going to be talking all about Big Brother. So if any of you are out here listening saying, I don't know what happened, and I sure don't want to hear any spoilers beyond what was shown on Sunday night, this probably isn't the show for you right now. You may want to pause it, get caught up on the episodes, and then come back and watch it on replay, because spoilers we are going to talk about. All right. Let's not. A couple of things. Then we'll talk about the big one, the veto ceremony. But I wanted to answer a couple of questions first, because I know I'm going to get behind otherwise. Ben Franklin had asked, are HOHs required to have one-on-ones? Does production require that, or do they just typically do that? No, there's no requirement. You can lock yourself up in your HOH room and not talk to a single person, or you can do like Kylan from a couple of seasons ago and grill everyone, or like Hyson this season, and just absolutely grill everyone on a one-on-one. When I won my HOH, it was very late at night. I didn't get my room till 2 o'clock or so in the morning, and we had nominations at 9:30 or so the next morning. So I really didn't get that much in the way of one-on-ones. I think the Grateful Eight knew I was going to put up people from their side. Some of them weren't really interested in talking to me. Imagine that. So I talked to the people who came up and visited with me, but I didn't have one-on-ones with everyone. But no, the answer is no, you're not required to have it. You can run your HOH however you want to. It's just so many people see the show every single year and see all the other HOHs doing it, so they feel like they need to do the same thing. Kind of like it's all watching that memory board when someone's evicted and their picture turns gray. We're not required to do it. It's like respect or something to do that. So yeah, that's the answer to that one. All right, let's see what do we have on here real quick. Let's see. Mike Johnson, since Izzy knows the secret, do you believe she has to let's see if I can read that. Do you think she has to blow it up to make it past the final 3? And let's see. Am I not live on here? Let's see. Bear with me, guys. Huh. Not showing, huh? Why y'all give me a thumbs up if I'm live, because I'm showing a weird little thing on here on my side. Are we We're still going? Did I just blow up the internet? All right. All right. Thank you, Melissa. I thought I just blew up the internet. All right. We'll keep going. And hopefully it gets better. All right. The question was since Izzy knows the secret, do you believe she has to blow it up to make it past final three? She's got to blow it up, son. How does she think that Jared's going to take her over Cirie or more? How's Cirie going to take her over Jared? So she's playing for third place, maybe even playing for fourth place, depending on the position with Felicia. I think she has to reveal that secret. The problem is the longer that she waits, the more people are going to say, well, you knew this all that time and you didn't say anything to anyone else. When would I blow it, reveal the secret? First of all, I wouldn't let anyone know that it was me revealing the secret. I would start whispering to, I don't know, someone like Blue maybe, and make a few little suggestions and then let Blue figure it out and then start asking the questions. I would try to deflect the blame completely. When would I do it? Probably final 6 or 7, something like that. You wait too long and there's fewer people that'll take the blame over you. Of course, you wait too long and it makes more sense if you blow it up. But I'm thinking around 6 or 7. So early jury is maybe when I would reveal it. But she has to reveal it. Otherwise, she's not winning it, right? I don't see how she thinks that would ever be the case. So yeah, I think so. All right, let's see what else we've got on here. Brian Hosteller, backdoors in play. Will they flip this week? All right, let's talk about it. And again, if you don't want spoilers, plug your ears. We had the feeds come on little less than an hour before the show started. And it was very quiet in the house. I saw him in the kitchen with Izzy and Cirie. I think Bowie Jane was in there. Felicia was not there, but several others were. And as far as potentially a backdoor being used, why, yes, indeed. Jag won the veto, pulled himself off the block, and Felicia put up Sam, just as they talked about. But they had flip-flopped so much in the last 48 hours or so. Oh, my gosh, they were driving me crazy. I truly think Cirie is used to playing the game of Survivor, where you make a decision in the span of a couple of hours, and you have to live with it. Here, you think you've made a decision. People start whispering in your ear. You hear all these different arguments. You start flipping, then you flip back the other way. It's just an ongoing deal. I think Cirie and Izzy and Felicia, all of them felt guilty to that. They also felt guilty to misunderstanding some situations. They think there's this big group of middlemen that are going to pull in Jag in America and the other side and work against them. It's not the case. They just misunderstood Corey talking to someone, saying, oh, yeah, there's some middlemen in here. And they just thought he's talking about alliance. He wasn't. He was just talking about people that don't really have as strong a place on one side or the other. There's a lot of things that happen like that which cause them to flip-flop back and forth. Corey and Jared were kind of the voices of reason this week of saying, look, you got to do it. And I've been seeing on social media a lot of people saying, why would you get rid of Sam, who's part of your alliance, when you've got other people like Cameron and Red have talked about going after Cirie and Izzy and Felicia, not necessarily right now, but before too long. So yes, I understand that standpoint. But once they started talking to everyone about wanting to do this backdoor, they couldn't back off at that point, because all it takes is one person to go to Sam and say, this is what they were planning. They backed off, but you were definitely the target, my friend. And the whole house blows up anyway. I think it was the right move. When everyone in the house dislikes you, that suggests that it's not necessarily bad strategy that Sam had. I think it's just he just didn't jive with everyone else. He came off a little condescending in his conversations with people. He was too forceful when he gave that veto speech for Riley when he said he wanted her out. People just ended up not liking him so much. And I know Sam after the thing was talking to him in the kitchen saying, I was always for you. 100% I was for you. I would have stuck with the professors till the very end. Why in the world did you get rid of me instead of someone else? Well, just remember this. Even as late as yesterday, Sam was talking, I think it was to Cirie. I could be wrong on that. But Sam was out on a hammock talking about the decisions that had been made by Felicia, saying, she put up Cameron and Jag instead of Jag and Matt. And when you make mistakes like that, it's going to kill you. One mistake can ruin everyone's game, not just hers, but ours as well. And he was saying if she continues to make mistakes like that, in other words, if she doesn't do what I want her to do, Felicia may have to be booted out of the professors. We can't afford to have someone like that in the alliance. So it's not as though he was 100% with those people and one going to turn and flip on them. He was going to justify it if he ever did by, oh, they didn't play well. But yeah, I'm okay with it. I try to stay positive. I understand. I saw him got a little HOH-itis. He's probably a wonderful person in real life. He just didn't come across that well once he got power inside the house. Kind of even before he got power. But another statement. I'm okay with Hassam going, and I cannot imagine a situation where he is not going to go at this point in time. It's either him or Cameron, and Cameron may get some votes as well. It's not like people are in love with him, but I think Hassam goes at this point in time. All right, the Captain Lee fan and Batman saying, hope they vote out Hassam, hate him. I'm not going to use the word hate. I'm just going to think that he didn't handle his power so well. JD Glad saying, not a fan of Hassam. I understand that, but seems like a hurtful backdoor. He had some nice moments. He's strong. I mean, here's the other thing. He was proving himself to be a competitor, to be a forceful personality. As many people were talking about how they were scared of him. When you've got Sari and Felicia and some of them saying, "Oh, we don't want to get him mad. We don't want to get him on his bad side." That suggests someone that has a lot of power in that house. Now, would he have used that to help Felicia and Sari and Izzy? Yeah, short term, I'm okay with the argument that he maybe could have stayed a little bit longer to protect that side. But they were getting freaked out by the fact that he seemed to be extending kind of feelers to, was it Jag and Blue and some on the other side, creating these little side alliances. Now, did he do anything that Sari and others and the professors hadn't done? No. It's just he went out of his way to tell people not to do it, and then he did it anyway. And I think people just started thinking they couldn't trust him, and whether they could or not, you don't know when you're in that house. Someone can be so sweet when they talk to you face to face. They can pledge undying loyalty, but you don't know what they're saying in the dining room. And there was a lot of talk as well, and we saw some of it on the feeds and such, of Hassam really feeling like maybe he's a little bit jealous that he didn't get considered for the other side, for the young kids, for lack of a better word, for their little group of people, that he felt like he kind of got stuck with. I heard the word leftovers used, things like that. So yeah, there was a little bit of jealousy from his part. And I feel like the people and the professors could pick up on that a little bit. So we'll find out. Maybe it is going to be a problematic situation to get him out. But the issue is the fact that he had just won HOH. He couldn't compete in this particular HOH. So everyone started thinking this was the best time to do it. If he hadn't won the last HOH, if this was just a blind side, a backdoor taking place under someone else's HOH, they may not have had as much time to talk about it. And as a result, maybe they wouldn't have made it happen. Here's what I think the issue was. I think they were talking about a backdoor blindside before they even knew who HOH was going to be. I think that's too long. I think it gives people too much time to talk. Those who wanted to backdoor Hassam probably should have waited until after the HOH, certainly, and probably right before the nomination. So say Thursday night, Friday morning. At that point, talk to Felicia and suggest it and see if it's going to get traction. And then if you don't want to do it, well, you back off before everyone in the entire house knows about it. How can you back off of a backdoor of Hassam when every single other person in that house knows what's going to happen? Because all it takes is one person to spill the beans, and then he's mad at you and probably flipping to the other side anyway, and then you've got a huge enemy. So I think they were committed as soon as they started telling people about it. We'll see how it turns out. It's going to make it exciting. It's going to make for a stressful week. I don't feel like Hassam's the kind that's just going to lay down and go out quietly. I think he's going to push hard. He's going to call out people. He is incredibly upset with America. And did y'all hear? I don't know how many watch the live feeds. There was discussion about security maybe getting called during the POV meeting. I don't know exactly what that was about. Bowie Jane was talking a little bit and said that she needed to go to the bathroom, and security had said, don't go. It was hard to keep track, but I don't know. And they were talking about the death stares that Hassam gave Izzy and Bowie Jane and a few others. But his real anger right now seems to be directed to America. And I don't know, because they waited so long after the veto meeting, we missed out a lot. But it almost sounds like Suri and Felicia and Izzy maybe threw America under the bus a little bit by saying that maybe she was the one who was saying that he really wanted to be with the other side and not with them. And he's saying, she just made all that up and it's not true, but he's upset with America. So she was up in the balcony outside with Corey, kind of hiding out. And that may not be a bad idea here can you do it for an entire week? Maybe not, but do it while you can. Hi Sum's not very happy. All right, Mark Taylor. Is Suri doing too much as a floater, and is it hurting her son's game? I think Suri is doing way too much. I love Suri as a Survivor player. I just loved her a little bit of an innocence. She hated being outdoors the first time she played, and she just she seemed to be having a lot of joy playing the game of Survivor. Inside the Big Brother house, I just don't think she's adjusted to the longer gameplay. It's a week between each eviction, whereas in Survivor, it's 2 days or something, it seems like. So you've got to play so much slower in this house. And I think that's causing her to sit there and listen to too many people throwing out too many conflicting ideas. And she just does one of these things at the end and can't necessarily make up her mind. Yeah, I think she's playing a little too hard right now. Now, she did a good job of letting Izzy take the lead. She did fine not winning the HOH. I don't think she wanted to. She's happy to have Felicia win it. But yeah, I think she needs to just sit back and not look like a power player, or else people are going to start coming after her. I mean, it'd be real easy to go after Felicia and Suri, or Izzy and Suri, right? So we'll see that. Now, Jared isn't necessarily helping himself either. He's certainly throwing out some comments and everything. And we'll talk about that. Andre Davis, Andy W. Sorry, Andy. Jared is getting on my nerves. Poor Suri, he is going to ruin her game. How I feel sorry for Jared. Can you picture playing Big Brother with your mom in the house? That's a little tough, especially when you're someone like Jared, who is such a player, right? Jared has spent a lot of time flirting with Blue. It irritated me a little bit that he's going on and on. He told his mom, said, "Oh, she's got some feelings for me. She's feeling for me," and all of that, and acted like he's kind of just having to push her back the whole time. Well, he's doing his own fair share of flirting with her and making a few suggestive comments and suggestions and things like that. And Jared said a lot of things about the way he interacts with women in the real world in terms of dating and bars and a lot of things we're not going to get into now that suggest to me that Jared's got a little growing up to do in terms of the dating and the relationship departments. Now, the worst thing is that Jared actually mentioned last night, he's got I don't know if he ever said a girlfriend. He kept saying, "I've got a situation at home and that he's trying to deal with as well." And that situation may not still be a situation. He just may not know about it. So Jared's maybe a little more focused on the relationships, it seems like. Now, he's still talking a lot of game with Corey. And from a gameplay standpoint, I don't think he's doing so badly. But from a relation standpoint, he better be careful. I think he's going to create some issues with that. And even worse than just the dating, he keeps teasing Blue with these little hints that he's got connections to reality TV, that his mom is someone famous and all this and that. And it's almost like he keeps throwing new things out just to see if she picks up on it. And so far, Corey doesn't. I mean, so far, Blue is just kind of like, she hadn't really taken the bait and doesn't seem like she's trying to figure it out. At some point, she may be remembering all of this, and she may mention it to someone else that knows a little bit more about what's going on, or someone like Izzy may tell Blue, and suddenly it's all going to come together. I don't know why Jared's trying to hint around anything. Just zip it, Jared. That's what you need to do. All right, Mike Johnson saying it's like Lord of the Flies. Yeah. Welcome to Big Brother, especially the early season stuff. It's like Lord of the Flies, and I use that description several times while I was in there. It's not so much who is playing well or not well, who is bad, who is good. In the early part of Big Brother, it's all just about who can we find as a target so that I'm not the target. Anyone but me. Man, Sandra Diaz, she needs to come on this show because she'd fit right in, the Queen of Survivor, because that was her strategy in Survivor. As long as it's not me, same thing. And that's why when I did my season, I knew that they were going to target me because I was an easy person to pick out. Haisam did some things to screw up, but also people just started piling on. When they heard enough people were planning to backdoor him, there were a lot of people that were sitting there thinking, all right, well, if we get Haisam, that means one more week that I'm not going home. So, yeah, I'm all for it. It wasn't always just about Haisam. For a lot of these people, it was just to protect their interest as well. And that's what the professors need to worry about. He was part of their alliance. Is that going to empower the other side and help pull them together? That's the danger. That's the risk they're running with doing this particular action. All right, Michelle Moore saying, who is your pick to win in the beginning? Who did I? Jag. Jag is who I picked to win in the beginning. I thought here's what I liked about Jag. During his interviews, he said, I know it's a game. I know it's stressful. I know we're playing for money and all that, but I just want to go in and play the game. I want to have fun. And I thought, man, anyone who realizes that you've got to still have fun while you're playing the game, I think that's the mentality that you have to have in order to survive. Do y'all realize we're only on day 19 or night 19, day 20, I guess. Day 20 in that house, we've got 100 days to go. They're only 1/5 of the way through, 20%. And so much has happened. There are people that are going to be so stressed out, so burned out in another couple of weeks. So if you can go in and keep that mentality about, hey, we're just here to have fun, I think that's the way to do it. So Jag was my pick. Is he still my pick to win it? I don't know. That was before Cirie came in. Cirie is so dominant. I think production would like to see Cirie go a long time, and I'll just leave it at that. I think they're going to do what they can to help her out a little bit. So I could see Cirie potentially winning this thing. I also said I was going to cheer for Felicia just because she was 63. She actually, but I didn't think she was going to win it. I still don't think she's going to win it, but I'm impressed. She's not just in there floating around. She's playing the game, and that's what I tried to do, and I love seeing that. But I'll stick with Jag for my pick just because I'd love to see him win. All right, Crystal Gonzalez saying, do you think Haisam is the right move? And just Micah saying, I think Haisam would be a better juror. They're right to get rid of him. Two very valid points. Is he the right move? You know, as much as you talk about strategy and things like that, there are times where you just have to get rid of the person that you don't want to talk to anymore, that you're tired of coming in. And here's the deal. It's not just how he competes and his loyalty and all that. If you start worrying that he's going to screw up your relationships with other people in the house, you've got to be aware of that as well. And he is so forceful at times. And I think some people were afraid of that. Sometimes you just say, I don't care anymore. Just get the person out of the house. I know when I won the veto and the double eviction, I thought about sending Tommy out the door instead of Christy because I thought Christy would work a little closer with me than the others. Tommy was tight with Mickey and Holly and Nicole, all three. So I thought maybe there'd be a little bit more gameplay if I kept Christy instead of Tommy. But I was just ready for Christy to go because she had kind of misled me a few times, and I just didn't think I could trust her. I'm not sure I could trust Tom either, but that was probably the one decision I made during my whole season where it was based on emotion and not just strategy to send her on out. I think a lot of that happened with Haisam in this case. We got some emotional players in there. Poor Izzy. I think Izzy understands strategy, but she also is playing with a certain amount of emotion, and that makes it tough. Izzy and Cirie and Felicia, they just need to take a breath. You never see them on the feeds where they aren't playing Big Brother. Felicia may be cooking a little bit, but other than that, they're always talking the game. Sometimes you just have to take a break, get to know people for who they are without regard to the game itself as much as you can inside that house. They aren't doing that. They can't last at this speed. The more they do this, the more burned out they get. The more burned out they get, the more stress they get. The more stress they get, the more paranoid they get. And pretty soon they're all just going to be circling around that comic room, yelling and screaming and pointing fingers at each other, at everyone else. And it's not going to go well. They got to chill. Just chill, man. All right. Kevin Jarrett saying, as of now, do you think Cirie makes it to the final four? Ooh, who would take her out? I mean, Red and Cameron have talked about it, but who else would take her out right now? Yeah, I think she makes it to the final four. I feel like Jag, maybe America, perhaps. I don't know that Matt would take her out. Part of it depends. If they find out about Jared and Sari, God, I'd be ready to send them out. When I found out about Tommy and Christy, it's like, all right, that's it, Tommy. Let me show you to the door, because I was worried about jury votes and everything else. If you know that if Sari and Jared both make it to jury, and either one of them makes it to that final two, you think they've got a locked in guaranteed jury vote from the other person? Yeah, heck yeah. So at that point in time, I don't want either one of them making it to the final two. So yeah, I think Sari could make it to the final four, but if her secret's blown, that may change things a little bit. Otherwise, I feel like she's insulated enough. She could probably make it to four, and at that point, people may fear her power enough that that final veto competition. And Sari never won a lot of comps in Survivor either. She's not a huge comp beast. I think she doesn't win that veto in a final four. That's probably where she gets voted out, because she's just seen as such a jury favorite and powerful and all of that. And so I may say she makes it to final four, but that may be where it ends. I came in fourth. I'd love to share a spot with Sari as a fellow fourth place finisher. I'd rather share a spot with a fellow first place finisher, but yeah, spilled milk and all that. All right, Mark saying, how far is the auxiliary house from the real house? Do they bus you to it? Well, a couple of things. One, there were a couple of competitions that we did that weren't in the backyard, and I don't ever really know why they did that. Our Whacktivity competitions was an extra competition that kind of interfered with the building of the HOH sets and all that. So we did a few competitions outside the backyard, and without going into a lot of detail, is very close to the Big Brother house, very close. The other one, the HOH competition that we saw with those houses that Haisam won, Jared came in second. I saw a post on one of the social media sites showing the CBS lot where Big Brother is. And those two houses aren't but I don't know, a block from the Big Brother house. And I guess with the writer's strike, they aren't filming anything there, so they were available, which is why they chose to do a comp that's a little different than anything they've done before. But here's the kicker. When you're on that lot, whether it's when you were evicted, when you got brought to the house to start the game, if you're getting taken to an auxiliary or whatever, it's not busing or anything else. You put in these little golf carts, and someone's driving you around and doing that, and you're fully blindfolded. You can't see a thing, and these aren't just little blindfolds; these are like full veils and all that. You can't see squat. But I gotta say, one or two times when I was on a little golf cart for various reasons, feeling that wind blowing as that golf cart was going along, pretty cool. And I spent so much time thinking, where am I going? And we turning left, we turning right, trying to keep track of where we were. But yeah, that the lot for those houses for the HOH were just half a block away, right there on the soundstage. So everything takes place inside the CBS studio lot, except for those special times a few years where they've gone off and seen concerts or seen a sporting event. Obviously, those are somewhere else. We didn't get that. We didn't get anything during our season like that. We were stuck in that house forever. All right, let's see. What else do we have? Janet Johnson. Hey, Janet, I appreciate all your support for me on YouTube. On eviction night, in the diary room voting, can you actually see Julie Chen? No, you can't. You can see Julie when we're in the living room. Julie's sitting there at the beginning. Hey, house guest, how are you? Oh, hi, Julie. Hi. We can see her on the TV screen that normally says nominations today or HOH today, whatever. We can see her on that screen when she's talking to us. But when we go into the diary room, there's no cameras. There's a speaker off to the right so we can hear her voice, but we're just staring at a camera that's looking at us. So that's why, like Haley Broker from, season 20, she would always say, "You're looking stunning, Julie," and she'd turn off to the right. It's because she was talking straight to the speaker and not staring off into the camera. And when they say you look beautiful or you're ravishing or whatever, they're either just saying it just because they think it's cool. Not like Julie Chen votes one way or the other, or they're just commenting based on what they saw on the screen while they're in their living room. But now we can't see anything. Now, I do think that with Matt in the house and his hearing impairment, I've heard there may be a screen in there that has like some closed captions or something up there. So you're still not seeing her, I don't think, but you may have some text coming across translating her words or producer's words, things like that. Not certain of that, but I've heard little bits and pieces about that. But yeah, we don't see Julie in there. We're just talking to a camera. Which I remember my first time. I was just so scared I was gonna mess up, say her name wrong or something, and look like a complete doofus. I was so nervous that first vote. By the next few votes, it was more about, oh, God, please just keep me in this house another week. Of course, if you're voting, you know you're safe, but beyond that, you never know. All right, Patty Bell saying, how did Hassam take being put on the block? Did he get mad at Felicia? Well, we don't know for certain because the feeds were off for so long, and I really think it's obviously we knew we weren't going to get to see the veto ceremony, but I think the production team didn't want us to see the aftermath either, which suggests to me that it was a little bit explosive, a little bit heated. Sometimes you don't have to raise your voice to have a heated conversation. I have a feeling, based on what we heard afterwards, that that was the case here. Yeah, it sounds like Hassam just gave each of them a stare that would burn into your soul. So he was not happy. We didn't see Felicia right off the bat. I'm sure he was. I'm sure he especially felt betrayed by Felicia because, one, he started off the season talking so much about how he didn't want the old person going home first. He wanted to protect her, and then he really felt like he was having influence in her HOH by telling her what to do and all that. And then to have her not just not do what he wanted her to do, but to actually go after him. Et tu, Brute. He's got to be feeling that he just absolutely got stabbed in the back by that side. And he did. I mean, he truly did. Not saying it wasn't justified, not saying that he doesn't share some blame in it in the way he talked to some people and all of that. But I understand him being hurt. I absolutely do. It's tough. He's going to get out of that house, and it's hard. I'm gonna reach out to the guy. I try to reach out to everyone when they leave the house. I'll reach out to him and say, "Welcome to the family. I hope you enjoyed it, as short as it may have been. We'll see." I'm telling you, I don't judge people based on how they play in the house. I base it on how they play the real game of life outside the house. All right, Kim Sinclair saying America wants to hide until Thursday. That's not a bad idea. I'd be volunteering to sleep outside before I was. I sure wouldn't be sharing the same room, which isn't to suggest that he actually would resort to violence, but talk about uncomfortable. Oh, yeah, I don't blame America. I don't know why she's getting picked on more than anyone else. There are a lot of people who share the blame. Gick Rhymes. The Gick Rhymes. I love that. And I know what you're talking about. Bowie is floating and people don't consider her a threat in the house. You barely hear about her. I mean, Nicole, to some degree, they're laying low, and I don't think that's a bad strategy. Now, Bowie Jane seems like she's been a little bit more involved in conversations lately. She's trying to not necessarily come in and offer up a whole lot of comments, but she's just kind of hanging around when Sari and Felicia and Izzy are in there and kind of supporting what they're saying and making sure that they know that she's there and that she's sharing in some of the conversations and such. I think that's a good idea. She just has to know when she needs to turn it on, because if she waits too long, people won't give her credit. She'll make the final two and she won't get any votes. But short term, I go for it. The problem is if you end up There we go. I think I'm back. I hope I'm back. little power disruption. I don't know what's going on. The Big Brother gods are against me. Yeah, Cliff needs to stop going to the Nether region. Let me tell you about that. All right, guy. I hope you are back. Sorry, I hope I didn't lose anyone, but oh, all right. Thank you. Let me real quick. I was talking about Bowie and Jane. Yeah, she's got to be careful. You get too low, and people think you're expendable, and anyone's willing to get rid of you. So you do have to be careful about that. All right. Let me mention real quick the CAC 16. Thank you so much. Sending me a super sticker. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Y'all know I don't charge for my recaps or for these because I'm just out here to have fun with y'all. So I appreciate the support for the cap. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, where were we at? Bowie. Thank y'all for sticking with me as well. What a crazy day. But I'm glad I'm back. I'm like the live feed sometimes. Well, I need a little screensages. We'll be right back. All right. It says in your season, we share the same affliction. In your season, when you were HOH, what's something a house guest could offer you besides "I'll keep you safe if you keep me safe"? What a good question. What could someone offer me? Information. If someone just offers that without saying anything else, it's like, yeah, promises can be very empty. How are they? James Hooling said, you can bounce checks in here. If someone came to me and said, look, I'm going to protect you in exchange for you protecting me because I think we can help each other get further in the game. Don't just offer protection and then say, and that's it. If you give me some reason to think that we can play the game together, that's going to give me more incentive. And maybe along with that saying, I really want to play with you because I know these other people are not necessarily trustworthy. I'll use an example from my season. I was HOH. I put up Mickey and Jack on the block. Mickey wins veto. Christy came in, who wanted me to try to pick. They wanted Bella and Nick on the block so they could send one of them home. Well, I wasn't going to do that. But as we started talking, Christy, eventually we agreed that I would put Bella on the block in exchange for 3 weeks, 4 weeks safety. I don't remember how much she promised. It was enough to get me into the jury and all that. I've never been one of those saying, just get me to jury. It was more about just get me far enough that I think this big alliance will implode by then, which it did. But she promised me that safety, but she did more than just promising safety. She also revealed information. She said, look, Mickey and I are not on the best of terms. I'm not working with this guy forever. Right now, sure, I'll work with him, but he's rubbing people the wrong way, Cliff. You and I, we can make something happen. We don't have to be enemies in here. I am not going to work with Mickey to the end of the game, and I would love to maybe make something happen with you. Now, was she being honest about working with me? Maybe not so much, but there was friction between her and Mickey, and I knew it because Mickey had told me the same thing. So when I hear that from Christy, the fact that she's revealing some true information, that gave me more belief and more incentive that I could make something work with her in that case. So yeah, it's not just saying I'll keep you safe. It's convincing someone that there's actually motivation for you to keep that person safe and vice versa. I think that's a huge part of it. All right, let's see what else we've got on here. Chickadee Kenny saying, would love to see a CBS swap show, all on Survivor in the Big Brother season and all ex-BB players on Survivor. Yeah, I'd love to see that. I think I'd do pretty well on Survivor. Call me cocky and arrogant and not confident. I think I'd do great on Survivor. I think people would underestimate the fact that I'm an endurance swimmer. I do a lot of long swimming, maybe not as much as I used to, but I float pretty well too. But I do a lot of swimming. I'm a pack mule. I'm a dad. I spent 20 something years carrying 400 pounds worth of supplies every time we'd go to grandma's house or somewhere else. So I got a little strength built into me. Yeah, I'd love to see it. Of course, all those Big Brother people playing Survivor, we get through with the competition and be going to tribal and still not even be strategizing or talking because we're used to the long game. I can't imagine going 29 days or 26 days or whatever and saying, that's it, we're through. That's like 3 weeks in Big Brother life. What a fast-paced game. I think I'd like it, though. You don't have time to relax and worry too much. It's just do it, and see how it ends up. It's kind of cool with me. I think it's tougher to do Survivor and then come into Big Brother than the other way around. I do, but I'd love to see a swap. If it happens, CBS, Jeff Probst, call me. I certainly would love to talk to you. All right, Kim Sinclair saying, I wonder what Hassan's reaction will be when Julie tells him about the duo in the house. Mad that they bamboozled him. Yeah, I think he's going to be mad at a lot of people. I I don't know. Is he going to be that upset at Sari and Jared? Maybe not, because I think he's going to use that as a bit of an excuse why they booted him out. At least in his own mind, I think he's going to say, well, there you go. That's why I couldn't work with him. That's why my strategy didn't work. It's not because my strategy was flawed. It's because there was a connection in the house that I wasn't aware of that caused this to happen. You know how that goes, right? I think Hassan has a hard time accepting that anything he does is not the way it needs to be done. Not a whole lot of humility, maybe, in the way he plays the game. He'll find out once he gets out of that house, because Lord knows there's plenty of people on social media that won't hesitate to tell him everything he did wrong and all the things that he should have done differently. He better get used to it. But yeah, I don't know. Will he be upset? A little bit, but I think there'll be a lot of other things he's upset more than that. It is going to be interesting when he gets to watch the show back and figure out who really was behind his betrayals and all. And I don't know who that is. I mean, I think it's Sari and Izzy and Felicia more than anyone else. And everyone else just piled on after the case. We'll see. All right, let's see what is. Mark saying, do they call the family the nights of nomination and tell them that you were on the block? No, they don't. They don't say a word. My family, such a roller coaster ride for my family. They knew before I did that I was a blindside target on night number 30 when I got evicted from the house. They knew. They were already planning a welcome home party with signs for the airport. There's your confidence in your loved one, right? Because they're all preparing for me to come home because they knew that it looked like I was going to get blindsided. Then I only had a 1 in 4 chance to win the battle back. So yeah, they're all thinking, that's it. He enjoyed his 30 days, but well, come on home, Cliff. And then suddenly they see me blindsided in the live show. Then they see the battle back and they see me win the battle back. And yeah, they were rather happy. And it made me very happy in the house because I knew that way back over in Texas, they were going crazy, cheering me on. My entire family. The phone lines were operating, and all of it was true. They were very excited. And then later in that same night, they said that they were watching for the feeds to come back on. Suddenly, the feeds come back on. I've got the HOH key around my neck, so they know that I made it back in the house. That not only did I survive the battle back and blindside and all that, but now I'm the HOH. I'm the king of the world. I'm the boss hog of the Big Brother world. And then they all started the phone calls and such again. The only phone call they got from production was the night they actually got a call a little bit later from production saying, look, Cliff he had a very exciting night. And we're just wondering, can we send a production team out and film y'all watching him win and other stuff? And so they said, yeah, come on out. So I think it's the next day or two, almost immediately, they show up at our house and recreated the scene of me winning battle back and everyone on the house cheering them on and all of that. And so yeah, that was cool. So they did contact my family, but it's only because they wanted to do a special segment and all that. Otherwise, yeah, they don't call anything. The only other time they contact, as far as I know, there may be other times, when I at the very end, when I lost that veto competition, win it and you're in it, at the very end where it caused me to go get sent home, I was so exhausted. I was not well. My knees were just bleeding, horribly bleeding from rubbing them on that artificial turf. My family got a call and they said, look, you may see that, Cliff got a little injured during that competition, but we just want to let you know he's fine. No worries at all. So they did let them know that. But other than that, pretty much hands off as far as production goes. All right, let's see what else we've got on here. Hassan saying the Mandalorian. Hey, Mandalorian. I can't make a Yoda sound. And yeah, I know that's not Yoda, but close enough. Mandalorian says, Hassan threatened people if they consider not doing what he wanted. Absolutely, he did. Think backdoor is a smart move since the professors couldn't trust he would stay loyal if you disagreed with him. Absolutely. 100%. He made that threat against Felicia, not to Felicia, but he certainly let it be known that if she didn't play along, he was ready to boot her out. He said the same thing, and not the same thing. He pretty much let be known to Matt that if Matt didn't go along with booting out Riley, that he would know he'd come after Matt. There's a way you can be subtle, and High Sam was anything but subtle. So yeah, again, I think it was a smart move just because people just didn't have that comfort factor. That you have to have a comfort factor. Nicole, Anthony, and myself, and Ovi, the three of us, we were like this with each other. It's not that Nicole or Ovi, I look at them and say, "Oh my God, these guys have brilliant strategy." I know they didn't look at me and think the same thing. It didn't have anything to do with that. It's the fact that we enjoyed hanging out with each other. We were comfortable laughing and enjoying each other's company. And that's the first step. And I don't think Hassam had that with anyone. Cameron, maybe a little bit, which doesn't help you when Cameron's not liked by a lot of the house either. So, yeah, it was personality much more than it was strategy in a lot of ways for Hassam. But he also called it. Remember, he said, "I'm not going to win this next competition because I feel like I'm putting too big a target by winning what I've already won." Yeah, he's right, but it was too late. He really should not have won that second veto. I think if he hadn't done that, things could have been a little bit easier. But what are you gonna do? Chickadee Kenny, wow! Thank you so much, a super sticker. I appreciate. I didn't even know these things were out there, but thank you. I appreciate the support. You've been here forever, cheering me on, supporting me, and right back at you. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, let's see what else we've got. Angie Hung, did your family film you when you won your battle back? Oh yes, of course they filmed. They recorded a whole lot of everything, and yeah, my mom Sue, I think she's out here. I saw her a little earlier. Raise the roof. They're all screaming and hollering. We're the kind of family on New Year's Eve when it turns midnight. We all, we all, when we had little kids, we did, but we still do. We go outside in the porch and we bang pots and pans together. Happy New Year! And all that. When A&M wins a big football game, I'm the one out in the front yard yelling and screaming like an idiot. Well, no, you're justified cheering on when your football team wins, but yeah. So when I won the battle back, and they knew that I was okay, yeah, there was a lot of screaming and yelling going on, and I have a feeling a couple of my brothers were probably sitting there saying, "I can't believe he did that. That surprised me." Maybe not so much. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, you know who was cheered me on the whole time, but I'm sure Bowie, not Bowie. That's so confusing. Bowie Jane in the house, Bowie Hogg, my brother, Bowie who was on The Apprentice and lasted 4 weeks. I won the battle back, guaranteeing that I would be in the house longer than 4 weeks. Bowie's probably saying, "Yeah, he'll do anything just to beat me on length of time on a reality show." Yeah, you better believe I was thinking about that, Bowie, when I did it. Yeah, Angie, they were definitely cheering for me, raising the roof and going crazy. And I wouldn't expect anything else at all. So what a fun night. It was, and I knew they were doing that. All right. What else do we have on here? Oh gosh, so much fun. These feeds, I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. Try to watch these feeds. It may be easy. This may be the kind of night where everyone just wants to go to bed, so they don't have to talk to anyone. We'll see. Chaz saying, "What did you think of last night's challenge?" All right, we'll change it here just a little bit, and then we'll get back to Big Brother. Uh, it's interesting. For those of you who don't know, the Challenge USA this season, there's not nearly as many vets. There's a lot more newbies, and when I say newbies, people from The Amazing Race, Survivor, Big Brother, people that have not been on the challenge before, and they're kind of piling up and ganging up on the vets. I kind of like seeing it. They need a taste of their own medicine. They've gone after the newbies for too long. A little bit of political strategy going on last night because one of the three teams basically threw their chances to win to make sure that another team won, and as a result All right. I I think I'm in there. Let's see. Wait. Uh, there we are. I think. Uh, let's see. Am I live? I think so. Or am I Memorex? Did y'all even remember that commercial? I think I'm live. Sorry about that, guys. We heard a big bang the first time that happened. I don't know if a transformer went off somewhere. So he's probably some high some cheering electrical worker or something that didn't like that I was supporting the move again. I don't know. But I am back. Thank y'all so much. Cindy Hire, thank you so much for the super sticker as well. I do appreciate. I appreciate y'all's patience. If y'all are still out here at this point in time, uh, y'all are true supporters, and so sorry about that. We'll see if we can't fix it next time. Maybe that's just God's way of saying, Cliff, you need to take a little breath as well, because I know I've been talking fast and furious throughout the whole thing. I can't help it. It's the favorite time of the year. Watching those feeds. All right, so let's talk about this. If you have any other questions, we can do that. Patty Bell saying, "Will you start covering the challenge?" I did. I covered a season of the challenge before, Patty, and I love it because I watch the show every episode. But uh, I don't because there's not live feeds. Sometimes with just an hour per episode, I have a hard time sometimes figuring out some of the strategies that are taking place. Kind of my specialty is talking about what happened overnight. Whereas with the challenge, it's such a compact description, and so I haven't done it. Will I ever do it again? Maybe. We'll see. I can't do it now because Lord knows, Big Brother is absolutely tiring me out in the best possible way, but certainly tiring me out. All right, I think I was saying before I just disappeared into the nether regions, and boy, is it dark in there. Now I was talking about that tonight, maybe the next couple of nights. These may be nights where people just want to go to bed early, do everything possible to avoid sleeping or sitting or eating or being in the same room with high sum. I got to say, when you're in that house and you are the target, or even if you're just on the block, people avoid you like the plague, and you feel it. You feel like you're just, I don't know, caring to plague. I mean, you feel like a leper or something in there. And for any of those of you out here who have suffered that affliction, I don't mean anything by it. It's just a saying. But yeah, Hassan's going to feel very uncomfortable now. He may just power through and still want to talk to people, and we'll see. Sometimes people start feeling sorry for you, and they'll talk to you without actually promising anything. There may be other people. I'm curious to see how Matt's going to do. I mean, Matt seems like such a nice guy. I'm really admiring Matt. Coming into the game, I didn't know if he was just going to be kind of a bro. Yeah, you know what I mean? I thought he and Luke could be the bros of the house. Well, Luke was, but Matt, I wasn't sure what to expect of him. He is the sweetest, nicest guy. Uh, I'll so look forward to meeting him at some event going forward in the future, cheering him on in the Olympics. I'd love to see that. But I'm curious to see what Matt's going to do with Sam. He was so upset. I mean, he was after Riley went home. He was all ready to just read Sam the riot act, get him out of there. He may be the kind that now that it's actually looks like it's happening, he may soften his tone a little bit and try not to go out of his way to torture Sam too much. Others, I don't know. We'll see. Sometimes you do start feeling sorry for the worst enemies that you maybe have in a house. And it's one of those, once you know their time is done, there's not anything that can be done about it. You kind of lessen up a little bit. Now you're not to the jury. Once it's the jury, as soon as you know someone is destined that they're going out the door, you do everything you can to kiss up to them because you want their jury vote in case you make it to the end. Hassam's not there yet, so they don't have as much reason to schmooze him right now. But I hope they do. I mean, nothing personal against the guy. I just don't think he played the game quite as well as he could have. He just got a little power hungry. He's certainly not the first, and he won't be the last. And it is what it is. I feel sorry for him. I'm still glad he's going, though. I think that was the right move. All right, Cindy Hire saying, your background is Scaryverse. Those of you who've watched my show for a while, I can't stand Dawn of the Dead. I can't stand zombie movies. They scare the Jesus out of me. If I had to sleep in that room with those hands and everything up there all the time, who knows what kind of nightmares. I got criticized a lot for snoring while I was in the house. They'd maybe wake up to hear me with panic and terror dreams or something. Talk about getting booted out of the house. You start waking up screaming in the middle of the night, they'll send you right out the door. But I love zombie movies. Don't get me wrong, I love them. I have favorite movies of all time. George Romero, a classic, the master. But they're the movies that scare me a little bit. That's why I love them so much. All right, let's see what else do we have. Mike Johnson saying, "What would be your advice for trying out uh, for the house?" I assume you're talking about for trying out for Big Brother. Figure out what you do that makes you stand out from other people, whatever it is. Maybe you're a sarcastic person, maybe you're a storyteller, maybe you're just kind of flighty, whatever it is. Figure it out and maybe ask other people what makes me different from everyone else that you know. And then don't make stuff up, but just figure out what it is. And then you can exaggerate it a little bit, emphasize it a little bit, and maybe that'll help you stand out. Because you got to realize you're competing with a lot of other people that want to go in that house. When I went in for my tryouts, I told everyone, the producers, I said, I'm a storyteller. For every night I'm in there, I'm going to have a story or two. I'm going to keep people entertained. And because of that, they're going to want to keep me in the house. And then I made sure to mention that I was a huge fan. So I knew how to play the game. I understood strategies. I wasn't just going to sit back. I was going to have to play the game aggressively. So that was my pitch, because I knew, the cowboy hat and the accent and my age and all that I had to convince them that there were things I could offer that the 20-something-year-old in the house couldn't offer. And stories, storytelling, things like that, I had that. I was a master of that in the house. So, yeah, you've got to figure out what you do a little bit differently from everyone else, and then just go for that. And if you don't make it in, it may not have anything to do with you. It's just they're trying to put all those puzzle pieces together, and they know what they want. And sometimes you can be perfect, but if you don't mesh with the other personalities, it just doesn't happen every year. But that's why you try out year after year after year. Because what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to say no. What's the best that's going to happen? You're going to go on the show and win $750,000. Yeah. Every person who's won that kind of money or won the title in a house at one point said, yeah, what are my chances of getting on the show? Every single person who was on that show said that at one time or another. So don't ever think that your chances aren't there. So go for it. All right, 8:01. We're probably going to shut this down. But let me answer a question or two since I got delayed a little bit with the electrical. Tommy Braskett saying, want to see Matt win HOH. I would too. I want to see what he does with that victory. Misfire saying Matt is playing an awesome game. I agree. Everyone likes Matt in that house. And Nunez 1919 says, I hope Matt wins. All right, we got a lot of Matt people on here, and I love to see it because I agree. No one dislikes Matt except for Hisam. One more reason Hisam needs to go, but no, everyone likes Matt, I think. He's just a sweet guy. I think he's going to do very well at the comps on down the road. He knows he doesn't necessarily need to win them right now. Although with Hisam, you may have wanted to try one or two. But yeah, I think he's going to definitely win a few comps when he needs to win them. I am curious to see what he's going to do with an HOH when he gets one. Is he going to listen to a lot of other people, which isn't always a bad thing, right? It's okay to take suggestions as long as in the end you make your decisions based on your game. I think certainly he'll listen to other people. Will he let other people drive his HOH, or will he make decisions? That's what I want to see. How determined is he? He's an athlete. He's used to working hard. I think because of that, he probably will do what needs to be done. Yeah, I'm all on board tonight. I said that I'd love to see Jag do it. Maybe I need to back off that a little bit because I still want to see Jag do well. I want to see Matt do well also. How about Jag and Matt for a final two? I'm okay with that. And I'd love to see it. Nothing against the ladies in the house. We'll see if America survives her next few days with Hisam. If not, I think she's playing a decent game. And Nicole's getting ragged on where she shouldn't really get ragged on. Sari and some of them are just really not trusting her so much. I thought she's made pretty good TV so far. But she's kind of there at the bottom where people just don't know which way she's going to go. She's got to watch out for that. All right, guys, I think we'll shut it down with that. If you ask a question, I didn't get to it, I apologize in advance or after the fact. Send me a DM. I'll either get to it next week or I'll talk about it. I'll send you a response back. I love to talk Big Brother. All right, guys, we're going to shut it down. We're going to go back to the feed, see what's going on. If anyone's pitched anyone else over the balcony just yet, see if security's actually got called in or not. Y'all have a fantastic Monday. I will be back tomorrow morning to drop a recap of the overnight feeds. So until then, guys, SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Don't forget to please consider going out there, subscribing to my channel, turning on notifications. And a big old thumbs up is always appreciated. Sorry about the disruptions of electricity, but I'm glad I was able to come back. Oh, nether region's no fun at all. Have a great one, guys. Cheers, my friends. Bye. If I can get my mouse to work. There we go. Y'all have a great one, guys. Bye.